Hello, my name is Joe Hayes. I'm currently working at Charles Sturt University's Education for Practice Institute. A priority of the Education for Practice Institute is working with faculty and staff to best tailor education design and delivery to ensure graduates are equipped and motivated to participate fully and contribute immediately and meaningfully across their lifespans to society and their places of employment, including the professional practice communities in which they work. I'm here with you today to talk about practice-based education, drawing in part from the 2012 book on the subject, Practice-Based Education, Perspectives and Strategies. The book was an eye-opener for me. It helped me to re-envisage higher education and better see the interdependence and mutual benefits between higher education and the professions and professional practice. I came to see that practice-based education is about preparing students for a future that is still in the making and equipping them to be active participants in its creation. To do so, we must not only see the world as it is, but envisage a new possible one, to see new horizons. Speaking to the ingenuity, vision, and breadth of its authors and editors, I found the text instructive, encompassing, and inspiring. While I have worked in and around professional education and development and workplace learning for much of my career, I find the text of great practical value. The sixth in a series titled Practice, Education, Work, and Society, I anticipate other volumes in this series to be every bit as instructive and interesting. This text should be of interest whether you are an academic concerned with professional or practice-based education and program design, quality, and learning outcomes, or an industry practitioner concerned with learning program design and outcomes for students completing workplace learning experiences. One of the things that strikes me about practice-based education, and entirely consistent with universities' emphasis in modern times on generic skills, is the prominence given to citizenship. However defined and understood, citizenship is central to the idea of university education, both in terms of qualities graduates should evince and in the way they are educated. What I mean by this is that students should develop the skills, knowledge, and orientations to participate actively in the world, and that the way we educate students should emulate the attributes we are trying to foster: equality, liberty, justice, engagement, and democratic action. Underlying the philosophy and practice of citizenship education is the belief that better citizens lead to a better world. As we will see, the positive transformational potency implicit in citizenship education translates practically and concretely to professional and practice-based education. Specifically, how can we improve our practices so that, in turn, we can deliver better service to our stakeholders? How can we better understand and perhaps re-envisage our world such that we can remain viable? What capabilities will we need in 3 to 5 years from now, and what do we need to do to develop or acquire them? These questions illustrate the kinds of things we need to continually ask to increase the likelihood that we will remain viable and that we can sustain and reinvent our organizations and communities. Engaged citizens ask these kinds of questions. They don't wait for someone else to. and they participate in trying to answer and learn from them, and they translate answers into action. It's my understanding that citizenship and professionalism are in many respects quite similar. An education strongly emphasizing development of citizenship is at the same time developing many of the capacities required of professionals and professions. The skills, knowledge, and orientations required to make professional practice effective, viable, and sustainable are often the same needed to make vibrant communities and healthy democracies. Citizenship entails obligations and responsibilities compelling or inducing high levels of commitment to and engagement in community and civic affairs, a willingness to contribute to one's organization, community, or society at large, to go the extra mile, to go above and beyond the call of duty. But citizenship is not merely desire or commitment. It is a set of knowledge, skills, and orientations, including public deliberation, problem solving and handling conflict, reasoning and judgment, willingness to participate, and acceptance of personal responsibility. And citizenship hinges on feelings of personal power and self-efficacy, or agency, the belief that one can and should make a difference in the world. Being professional in a practice or organizational context is very much about being a good citizen. Some of the ways citizenship and professional behaviors and orientations are most closely aligned include dedication to serving others and society, endeavoring to make communities healthier, more vibrant places to live and work, embodying and championing humanistic values such as justice, equality, and fairness, active engagement and participation, and applying capacities such as reasoning, judgment, and critical thinking to issues and situations, and demanding them of those who would lead us. While there are interesting and important similarities between citizenship and professionalism and professional practice, there are also key differences. For example, while every professional must be a good citizen, not every good citizen is a professional. Let's unpack this a bit. First, by virtue of being in a profession, society holds a professional to higher standards than average citizens. Additionally, a given profession also holds its members accountable to certain performance standards, including code of conduct, and may set professional entry criteria as well as continuing certification and development requirements. Professionals in a given profession have a high level of knowledge and skill in a particular area that average citizens are unlikely to possess, and that generally require years of formal education and specialized training. Moreover, a lot of the expertise demanded of a professional is developed in a professional practice context, that is, with other specialists in the field in places where their specializations are provided. In such contexts, they learn not just knowledge and skill, but how to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, teacher, and so on. I might interject here that practice-based education shares these concerns, developing professional knowledge, skill, and a way of being by making education as relevant and authentic as possible. A professional is expected to remain current with changes in law, as well as advancements in knowledge, skill, and technology in his or her field. Professionals are expected, if not required, to demonstrate informed, reasoned, and unbiased judgment. And while notions of citizenship suggest citizens are actively engaged in civic affairs and community life, they often are not. Professionals are directly and continually involved with their constituencies, including those they serve, their practice communities, and their profession. Their contributions are expected. Thus far, I have discussed and tried to put in context citizenship and professional education. Other themes, issues, and topics relevant to professional and practice-based education and appearing in the aforementioned text include the role of universities in the global world of the 21st century, sustainability, educating for complexity, uncertainty, and wisdom, the crucial role of critical thinking, initiative, agency, and social change, ethics and judgment. And I'd like to emphasize emancipation and obligation, the notion that precious benefits and essential qualities of democracy, such as liberty, justice, and equality, are not entitlements without cost, but must be continually earned or served through civic and community contribution. A citizen gives back. And while they may deservedly reap rewards consistent with their role and status, professionals give back as well to their professions, communities, and society. Implicit is that if they do not do so, they are not good citizens. These crucial areas of citizen and professional development suggest key priorities for higher education that transcend basic subject matter knowledge and skill. Higher education institutions and their stakeholders must not lose sight of their primary and essential purpose: to prepare citizens to live well in a world worth living in, which means, amongst other things, equipping them with the capacities and commitment to make meaningful and sustained contributions to their professions and places of work, and to the communities in which they live and those further afield. To continually expand and revise what they know and can do as the pace of change and technological advancement continues to increase around them, inexorably deteriorating what they might have learned at university. The authors of Practice-Based Education, Perspectives and Strategies offer a vision of ideal possibility and a concrete strategy for achieving it. The text presents a compelling case that much of what is possible and needs to be achieved in the complex global world of the 21st century can be done, and perhaps best so through collaborative professional practices, and thus practice-based education must be an essential part of higher education. This leads me to conclude my brief foray into horizons of practice-based education. Key takeaways from the film include: practice-based education is different than traditional higher education, emphasizing citizenship and professionalism and making them practicable and integral features of higher ed. University education must be about more than immediate employability, irrespective of the powerful drivers to make it so. Higher education is less about producing molded, finished products than it is about creating souls with the capacity and commitment to continual becoming. Continual becoming demands critical questioning, openness to learning, readiness to change, the capability to see beyond the current limits of our thinking and behavior and that of our profession and professional practice, to envisage a better world and to take active steps to realize it. Citizenship and professionalism are closely related. As the one improves, so does the other. Both are critical to professional practice. Certain capacities are essential for the 21st century, and these are the same as those necessary for sustained professional practice effectiveness and viability. Practice-based education serves a crucial intersection between higher education and the professions and professional practice. More needs to be understood about this nexus and how to optimize the relationships and synergies between higher education and the professions and professional practice. Thank you for your time today. I leave you with a few thought-provoking passages from practice-based education, perspectives and strategies.